Good morning, everybody.
Howdy.
Look, I love how you brighten up our world.
Yes. Thank you for calling Service Detectives. How can we brighten up your day?
That is the best lamp ever.
Right? Here, I gotta turn on some lights here. Never fails. I wish we had like blooper reels and stuff beforehand. I literally just spilled my protein drink on my jacket and lap like 1 minute before the show started. So yes, gotta love it. It's the leg lamp, man. Yeah. It's my
Would you say
award.
it's Italian?
Yes. It's my award from the bowling alley. and when it came and arrived, it must be Italian because it said "fragile" on the box.
Hope everybody's doing great. You're having a good week so far. Say good morning to some people. We got people chiming in here.
I didn't know if you were asking me that question or
No. Morning,
You're-
EJ,
yeah. Good morning, EJ.
Harrison,
Howdy.
Eric, and
Howdy.
JoJo, and anybody else out there that's listening. We got more than that out there listening. I know that for sure.
This is true.
So, today we're going to talk about preparing your business to integrate with emerging technologies. This is a tough one, I think.
It is.
It's like there's so much you can talk about with technologies. So much.
It can be overwhelming. That's for sure. But
So,
I triple dog dare you to keep focused today and keep tuned in. Some things may go over your head, but or my head, I don't know. But we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna talk about it. This is gonna be a fun show, interesting show. So I promised that the leg would show up a couple weeks ago. Totally forgot about it. So the leg lamp is here. The story behind the leg lamp, by the way, other than the movie. We had a couple of foreign exchange students, and we watched the movie, the Christmas movie, Christmas Story, and they ended up buying this for me as a gift for Christmas. So it was Sotora Banu and Gina. So they were from Kyrgyzstan or from Indonesia. So we still keep in contact to talk with all of our exchange students. We call them our shadow and worldwide family. Yeah,
that's great.
Instead of the Red Ryder Carbon Action 200 shot range model air rifle, I got a leg lamp.
Well, you can't shoot your eye out with that.
True.
All righty. You want to pray us in?
Sure. As I take a drink. All right, Father God, we come before you with gratitude for the wisdom and opportunities you provide as we prepare to embrace this episode of emerging technologies and in our business. We ask for your guidance and discernment and grant us the understanding to choose wisely, the courage to adapt, and the vision to use these tools to serve others with excellence and integrity. Help us to be a steward of the resources that you have entrusted us with, and may our efforts honor you and bring blessings to those we serve. And above all else, may people see your love through our actions. Amen.
Amen. All right. Today's verse.
Same as the first?
Same as the first. Proverbs 18:5 or 18:15. An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. Kind of makes you feel stupid when you read that sometimes, like I have not acquired enough knowledge.
I totally agree. There's just so much that you can incorporate. I mean, technology. I actually was debating bringing my tool bag in here and showing you all some of the stuff in my tool bag, just because my tool bag, I've had it for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, and I would add things to it. And I remember and I still have a tape measure, but just going to a digital tape measure where you just click the button and you can measure what the distance is from point A to point A. I'm like, man, this is just cool technology. And nowadays, I mean, they got them on your phone. They got it's crazy. Even just the slightest stuff is a tool. So yeah. So,
Well,
what are some emerging technologies in the home services area?
there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Well, there's a lot outside the home services area that you can apply to home services, in knowledge in general,
Yeah.
right? Um, Something I've been playing around with that I think is really cool lately. Like if I want to really dive deep into a topic that I don't know about,
hmm
I've been using Notebook LM from Google. And
Okay.
oh my God,
That's a
has
new one for
that
me.
been awesome? Because it's free. I can't believe it's free. But
Notebook LM,
yeah, Notebook
lead
LM.
management.
No,
No, what's the
language
LM
model.
stand for? Language model. Okay.
Yeah.
See, LM, I
So
think lead management.
basically what you can do, and I mean this is completely off the topic of specifics to home services, but it does apply in learning in general. And just like our verse says, an intelligent heart acquires knowledge. Well, this day and age, you got all this AI stuff out there, and it's like, how do
hmm
you use it so you can learn more? I mean, everybody talks about Chat GPT, but there's so much more than just that. And
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion, that's like one of the most generic things. It's more novelty, right? It's super smart unless you're going to pay for the pro version that they just came out with. That's $200 a month.
Yep.
But I think Google honestly has the best AI by far, just because
Really.
I think they've acquired so much information from across the web and the world in general. It just has so much data that it can process and knowledge that it has. Well, this Notebook LM software, you just tell it, this is what I want to learn. And you could go out and just do some Google searches if you've got research papers or documents, websites, YouTube videos. You can add like 20, I think 20 to 30 resources in there and say, here's all the things that I found on this topic. And who's going to listen to save 10 YouTube videos on a topic, or read through 10 documents, PDF documents, or another 5 web pages. All this
Yeah.
stuff. You can say, here's some authority things that I found. You dump it all in there. And then literally you can process that,
Yep.
and it compiles it, and it literally creates a voice um a voice response that tells you all about it, but it does it as like a podcast of 2 people talking back and forth with each other. And the voices are all AI. It's like really high quality AI. And
Yep.
it's amazing. And it's like you can use that to really learn something and ramp
Yeah.
up your game and say, you know what, I just need to understand this.
Yeah.
And it gives you all the, I mean, I've seen it, stuff that I've given it. It's done like a 32-minute podcast that I can just sit and listen to and learn on and get a really good overview of that topic
Yeah.
and a good understanding. And it puts it in plain English for you. So if you haven't tried that, I highly suggest you go play around with it, because if you want to learn any given topic and you've got resources that you can feed into it, it's amazing.
Well, I think from a technician standpoint, and we'll come back. So that's definitely marketing, right? There's a lot of things you can utilize marketing wise and even diagnostic wise. But from a technician standpoint, I remember, gosh, it's probably 2017 or so. We got involved with a heating and air company, um, a supply company. It was a brand. I couldn't even tell you the brand now. Um, anyway, there's a lot of brands out there now that do this. This one was one of the first, but it would you connected to it as a technician. So as a service company, you had it set up on the back end that you were the service company. And so if there was any issues, maintenance wise or scheduling service wise, it would send you, the service company, an email saying, "Hey, it's time for service," or "Hey, there's an issue with blah blah blah." And so you could call up the homeowner and say, "Hey, I just got an email from your air conditioner outside." It was the craziest thing, back then. Now it's like commonplace. And "Hey, just got an email from your air conditioner saying that it's time for this, or there's a potential issue with this. We need to schedule a service visit." It was the create because we installed several of these systems, and getting these messages was the crazy. But we set the homeowner up. We let them know, "Hey, this is how this works. This is what's going to happen. We're going to help save you money in the long run by having this do this." It was just, and they got the alerts as well. So it's not like we were just calling them up to, schedule a service call. It was literally legit stuff. It was so cool. But now, like, if you don't have that in your systems, you're like going by the wayside, right? You're old school. And so our thermostat, we've got an April Air thermostat. I've loved April Air. There's all kinds of different ones out there, but me personally, I've loved April Air. And being able to control it from your phone, it's such the cool thing. Garage door openers, you can control from your phone. I mean, this Internet of Things technology is everywhere now.
Yeah,
Like
it's insane.
my lights, I can control them almost 90% of the lights in my house from my phone.
Can you control
Uh,
your leg lamp from your phone?
Not currently. Inside the house, yes. It's part of the Christmas decorations, so, yeah. Uh, scheduled it's just crazy when it comes to the Internet of Things, right? IoT. When I first heard that, IoT, I was like, "What the heck is that?" And my tech company said, "Internet of Things." So we have our own network, Internet of Things. So, diagnostics, think about that from a appliance repair point of view, diagnostics, having your refrigerator send you "Hey, here's the issue." I know there's tons of different things that you can plug into appliances nowadays, just like you could, they've been doing it with cars for years, but you can plug into it and it gives you the diagnostics of, "Hey, here's what's going on. Here's the things to check for." It's just crazy how the world has evolved when it comes to this type of stuff. So if you got something in your mind that you're thinking technology wise, drop it in the comments. I'd like to hear, what are you using from a technician standpoint that's just something completely different than you did 20 years ago? Or, if you're a young gun, what are some of the stuff that you're using now that you just got taught, right? I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much integrated with the smart home stuff that you've got Alexa, Google Home, Apple HomeKit.
Yep.
Like everything is connected and everything can be diagnosed
Yeah.
or as much as it can, unless it's an absolute mechanical failure.
Yeah.
There's a difference between something that's electrical and then something that's mechanical, right?
Yeah.
So if something mechanical breaks, obviously the smart stuff isn't gonna know that. It's gonna be dumb about that. But in most
Yeah.
cases,
I think,
it can pretty much figure it out.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
not gonna know that a handle broke on your microwave. Let's
oh,
face
no.
it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna know that you're something it just isn't right
Yeah.
with
I mean,
a mechanical issue.
you got GE, you got LG, you got Samsung. Yeah, well, I think those are kind of the three major threes. What's other brands that you guys know of? GE's got their Smart HQ, LG's got their ThinkQ, Samsung's got their what's it called? Samsung Smart something or other, smart stuff, smart things. So, I mean, how long they've been doing this? They've been doing it for years. It's been part of product development for years. So what
Now,
about?
what would be
Yeah,
cool? I was thinking of this earlier in the weekend. My wife and I went to the home improvement store, and we were looking at a few things, and then she saw this microwave. She's like, "Wow, that's a really sleek microwave," and I think it was a GE that we were
yeah,
looking at, and it looked huge. And she hits the button and looks inside, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's so tiny in there," like this thing looked huge.
Yeah.
And then she's like, she looks at the buttons, and we weren't even like in the market at all for a microwave. She just thought it was kind of neat. But then she saw that it was Wi-Fi enabled. And she's like, "Why would you need your microwave hooked up to Wi-Fi?" And I'm like, "Well, that's when it needs service. It's going to obviously go ahead and ping GE to come out and
Yeah.
service it, if it's under warranty or whatever." And, she's like, "Oh, well, that's pretty smart." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, the guys hate that in the group, like it would."
Yeah.
And I started thinking, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a way to circumvent that
Yeah.
and somehow connect it to where it sends you an alert as the service company instead
Heck yeah.
of the manufacturer?
Yeah.
On some of these older out of warranty ones, so I have a feeling that something like that is going to come out at some point.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how it's going to work.
Yeah. That's it reminds me when you're saying that, because I got all these quotes in my head from the leg lamp. Whenever old man Ralphie is playing the moment in his head, uh about being in the asp of adolescence, and he's reminiscing about that leg lamp. He's like, "Only one thing in the world could have dragged me away from the soft glow of electric sex gleaming in the window." It's like, remind me of that microwave. She's like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
and then you buy the microwave, you bring it home, and she's jealous of it, so she breaks it, and you're like, "Where's my glue? You hid my glue on purpose."
So
Too many,
why
too many quotes in my head about this thing today. It's a distraction for me.
why does emerging tech matter for your business? Like,
I don't know, Mike.
how
Why
does it
does it
really
matter?
truly matter? I mean, I know a lot of people embrace it, a lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
But is it do you not like it because it's just something new you have to learn and you don't understand it?
Yeah.
A lot of these younger guys, you grew up with it. So your technology is just a part of your life.
Yeah.
But people in our age bracket, we didn't grow up with anywhere near this much technology.
No.
So it's harder to transition unless you've done it younger, and followed it like I have. But I think a lot of people, especially in the older generations, they're having a really, really hard time embracing all
Yeah.
this new technology.
Yep.
And it's coming out really fast, and it's definitely growing. It's catching up. I think the appliance world is finally catching up to what the automotive world is turned into,
Or the
right?
heating and air world. Yeah.
And yeah, all these different service companies are starting to see a lot of emerging technologies.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep up with because it's so scattered,
Yeah.
and none of it's connected as anywhere near as well as it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would think by now everything should be integratable and talk to each other, and a little bit more connected. And it's not really that way.
Nope.
You can't consider, sending a Wi-Fi signal is connected. It's not.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of my Jeep whenever you said that. I've got the app you can start your Jeep from, and it sends you all kinds of maintenance. If you got maintenance issues or whatever. Um, yeah, I'm just like, how about a nice football? Another
Yeah.
quote.
Something I can hold in my hand and touch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's customers. They almost demand it today. They want. Uh, I would say, and even some older customers, I'll tell you, that I had really liked technology. So I wouldn't discount the older generation wanting technology or understanding it. A lot of times I would just have to sit there and show them. Like I had one customer that she wanted the Ring cameras. So I got her a couple of Ring cameras, and I connected them for her, and I showed her, and I walked her through how to do that. Well, It took a couple times. They had some issues with it disconnecting. So I had a service call, go over there, show them how to get it reconnected and everything. And I haven't heard from them in a long time, So I wouldn't discount the older crowd. I would just say they just need education on it. As time goes on, it's going to become more and more, until that day comes. Maybe we're just set back to the dark ages. I don't know if and when that time comes, but I still think, customers do demand it. Even the older crowd is looking for those things that can make their life easier. I mean, shoot, remote controls for ceiling fans. How cool was that technology when it first came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's, if it's not integrated with your cell phone, you can sit there in your lazy chair and I mean, you could control your TV from your phone. I mean, everything is connected. It's crazy.
Everything's.
But everybody, a good percentage of it wants it, right? So what are you doing? What did Andrew say here?
Yeah, all right. He says we just need a tech nerd to write us a hack code to get into all the brands to eliminate the proprietary coding. You know what? You read my mind, Andrew, because I was like, this is going to happen. Someone will come out with some kind of programmable device to reprogram these smart appliances and devices. I mean, they got things in your water heater that will do this now, that will send alerts and book a service call with the manufacturer. So it's crazy what can be done. And I mean, it's not really crazy. It's crazy what the applications they're using the technology for, but the technology exists. It's just a matter of what do you hook it up to. And I think you can do that to basically any machine or anything really. But it's like a hot water heater. I could see maybe an electric water heater, like an on-demand one. But it's like, what other kind of water heater really needs something like that? Oh, your gas valve's not working. Your pilot light went out. I'm thinking like old pilot light days, not like the new on-demand stuff.
Yeah. That's a good thought.
And Andrew says, I bet those old folks gave up rather than learning it on their own. I mean, that's how it is. Older generations, literally, I have found this to be true, Andrew. They give up because they just don't want to understand it.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'd say the majority of the people that I had really embraced it. Or they would just be like, no, this is absolutely nothing I want. So I'd say the older generation that did want it, they embraced it. They did say, yes, teach me. They took notes. I remember people taking notes on things that I would install, but let's think about this.
It depends on the person. You're either a learner or you're not. You're either stuck in your ways or you're educating yourself. So I guess that goes across any age gap.
Yeah. True, because I know some 20-year-olds that don't want to learn anything.
Exactly.
So I don't think it has necessarily, it's the older generation. It could be just the person, like you said. So, but I'll tell you one thing from a financial aspect, because think about it. Ring, great example, right? They get you in, they get you on. Here's the camera. You can connect it to Wi-Fi. Oh, but what if you want to record it and save that recording for later? You want to come back and view it. Now what do you got to do? You got to pay a monthly fee, a yearly fee, a subscription fee, right? So they're getting into subscriptions. So same thing with my Jeep, right? To have that app on my phone. And I think they want like $25 a month. I'm sitting here and thinking, nah, I'm good. Well, let me give you a couple months for free to try it. After the couple months was up, hey, I'm good. I don't want it. Hey, let me give you a couple months for free. So I've got like 3 or 4 months to try this out for free. Sirius XM, satellite radio, right? We have FM radio. It doesn't cost us a dime for FM radio. But we don't like commercials.
But everybody
so what do we do?
The newest shiny thing.
Yeah. So what do we
They want
do?
what you can't have, that FOMO, fear of missing out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what is over here that's so good that people are paying for it?
Yeah. So you get into those subscription services. So how do you, as a technician, service repair company, how do you combat that, right? Because you get somebody into a brand new GE refrigerator that now they're requiring a subscription fee from GE to be able to do the diagnostics or to be able to do this or that. So you've got to build that into the price or try to figure out how to build it in the price or put it into your maintenance agreements, right? So what does
Or the
Howell says?
refrigerators that actually know what's in your refrigerator
Oh my
and can build a
gosh. Yeah.
shopping list for you, you know?
Is that nuts?
I mean, come on. I mean, is that like
It's
the
needed though.
it kinda makes me wonder. I'd really love to see the terms of service and the agreements that you have that they make you sign,
Yeah.
and just by purchasing that, you're agreeing to it, right?
Yeah.
I'd really love to see, like, the privacy laws all around that. I'm gonna have to do some data and dig into this.
See, we're Mike and I are these middle-aged guys that we have seen stuff go from uh, just think where this world is going to be at in another 20 years or 40 years with us,
Yeah,
Mike, when we're the old farts. And it's like, holy cow, I remember my time when we did this by hand. And now all we got to do
yeah.
is think
So
it and
it's
it
some I'm
happens.
waiting for the day where at some point we say, "Remember when we had Wi-Fi? That
Yeah.
old technology?"
I
You
still
know?
remember dial up, there was a thing the other day that was going around and I ended up posting on my Facebook, but I don't know if I can find it real quick, let you hear if you remember what the sound is. But
All the old AOL dial-up
yeah, here we go.
screeches. I hated
See if I
those.
can.
There's nothing coming through. Your microphone's blocking it out.
Bummer.
But anyway, getting
Yeah,
back
the
to
old
your
dial up.
let's get back to the cost, right? You got these
Yeah,
subscriptions. And you have to have all these different subscriptions for all the smart devices
yeah,
and the diagnostic tools, right? So, you've got the GE, you got Samsung, you've got all a plethora of devices that you have to have just to be able to diagnose or help you diagnose these issues on these machines, right? Are you actually looking at what those costs and building that into your cost of doing business and how and charging accordingly? And are you raising your prices to charge accordingly with the technology advancements that you have to keep up with at this point and the
yeah,
training that goes along with that? I think that's where a lot of people miss out. They're not taking all of that into account. They, you know, it's cool when you can go in and you can diagnose something and you got a techie customer and they see you using some tech to diagnose some things.
yeah,
And that can be a good selling point, right? And make you just look that much more knowledgeable and you know be a little more advanced than your competition out there.
yeah,
So you have a technology and competitive edge that way. But at what point do you have to raise your rates and say this is not a cost of doing business that I'm going to eat? It
hmm
has to be built into my pricing structure.
yeah. Saul was saying he wants to have his coffee machine to have Wi-Fi. Well,
They've
guess
already
what,
got those,
Saul?
man.
They got that.
Yeah.
Braun, Bun, Bosch even makes one. They're out
They've
there.
got coffee machines that will automatically order more coffee for you when you
Yeah,
get to a certain amount left over and replenish your coffee for
all
you
right.
on Amazon.
We got to go to the next comment from Cole. And it's Saul. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Power, power.
Yeah. Had a
And a
72
72
442.
442. Oh, go ahead.
That's nice.
Yeah, now all you got to do is just say it, windows down, and your Tesla Model S rolls your windows down for you.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a one scan tool for all brands. That would be amazing. However, you're going to run into all the proprietary software issues that don't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I could see that being a major legal challenge for someone to come up with that.
Jay Leno was interviewing Elon Musk, and they had all it was 5 different models of the vehicles. This was right before they were rolling out the Cybertruck. Anyway, so Elon was showing Jay, and he was like, "Here's the Model S, here's the Model 3, here's the Model X, here's the Model Y." And Jay just stopped. He goes, "You know, that's that kind of spells out something." And it spelled out sexy. He goes, "Elon, yep, that's exactly why I'm not named in this model. The 3 is actually the E."
Yep.
He's like, because Elon's like, because Teslas are sexy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, think about that technology. We're starting to see Cybertrucks here in Southern Illinois now, more and more. And
Oh yeah, they're
I followed
definitely
one for a little bit. I'm like, man, if this guy pulls over, I want to check it out. You know,
they're freaking huge.
they are,
They're massive.
and they're like stainless steel, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
But
just thinking of stainless
everybody
steel.
around here is just they're buying them and they're throwing wraps on them.
Yeah, yeah. I just think about that from an appliance standpoint. The stainless steel, you get your fingerprints all over it. Like, I wouldn't want that on my truck.
I mean, people are wrapping their appliances too. You know, they're getting some cool designs.
Yeah,
You know, you want a good side gig. You want something that you can refer your customers to. Find a good company that does wraps.
yeah.
You know, and somebody's got scratches all over their fridge or something, and say, hey, I know a wrap guy that can take care of this for you and completely change your colors.
Well,
you know,
I know time's getting away from us. We've been all over the board today with this.
We have.
This has been an interesting one, to say the least. So, yeah, I think it just comes down to you got to understand both the benefits and the cost of integrating these different emerging technologies. Start planning now if you haven't, because I mean, look how things have changed in the last 5 years, last 10 years, go back 20 years. Think about where it's going to be in the next 5 years, 10 years. You got to start planning now for the future of home services, right?
Absolutely. Let's talk about some key takeaways real quick. Identify one emerging technology with recurring subscription costs and determine how to integrate those costs into your pricing model. Create a transparent pricing strategy that highlights the value-added services you offer through those technologies. Technology is a really good selling point. And if you're not using the fact that you use technology as a selling point, you need to start. That could be a differentiator between you and your competitors. Pilot some subscription-based diagnostic tools to evaluate its impact on your efficiency and profitability. Anything's negotiable. Get with the manufacturers, get with the parts houses, find out what's available. I know a lot of you guys, you go to all the trade shows and you're learning things there, but I don't wait for those trade shows. Talk to your parts houses. The parts houses are going to know a little bit because they're talking to the manufacturers a lot. Do your own research. If like Saul works for a parts house, if you're a rep and you're listening to this at some point, what are you guys doing on the parts house side to stay up with that technology? And what are you doing as a rep to actually relay that information to your customers, to your service providers that are buying from you? So I think you have a good advantage there with knowledge and a good connection. And maybe it's good to have some training just on high tech stuff, just on these emerging technologies, not so much, how to fix the machine, but how to diagnose using this high tech technology. I think things like that would be good. If that's out there, I would strongly suggest you start looking at that. not how to disassemble a machine, which is a lot of the training at these things. They want to show you how to take everything apart and diagnose some things, but it's not so much the mechanical end. You need to start looking at the technical end. We're beyond wiring diagrams at this point. That was the complicated thing. Now it's high-tech chips and all this stuff. And we're just going to see computer technology advance so much more. I mean, Google just announced yesterday they've been working on something for 30 years, and they finally cracked the code for a computer chip for quantum computing that can process something. They fed this thing an equation that a normal computer would have never been able to solve in 25 lifetimes. That's how long it would have taken to solve this problem. And their quantum chip did it in 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes. So now that technology like that is out there that processes information so much faster, and we're dealing with all this AI learning that can learn so much faster than a human and then summarize it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start leveraging that technology that's out there for your own knowledge and growth. So I highly suggest you figure out ways to do that. Saul's got something here. We have MSA, where we give clients access to training, health, and business solutions, free subscriptions to Service Yoda, which helps map your business trends, and much more. That's great.
Very cool.
I'm sure a lot of the parts houses have different programs and things. So just start asking, find out what they have available. If you're dealing with Marcone, or you're dealing with Encompass, or any of the other ones in your area, find out what they have to offer. It doesn't hurt to ask. And if the reps don't know, you need to question them and say, go find out, because that rep needs to be doing their job, right?
100%.
They need to be staying up on this stuff just as much as you do.
Nicholas said great stuff. Thanks, Nick. That really helps, because
that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. I'll tell you this. We have some exciting news at My Office Help. I'll put a little plug. If you like what you've heard or enjoyed this, be sure to pay the fee. Go like, subscribe, and share. Appliance Marketing Pros, My Office Help, and the Service Alliance Group. We've got a big announcement. We just sent an email out about it last night. We just got a new vendor partnership with Shuby. So Shuby.com. But if you go to our website, myofficehelp.com/partners, you can read a little bit more about Shuby, and you use the code MOH10, MOH10. You actually get a discount. They got I'm going to put a plug in for them. Free same-day shipping. If by 1 p.m. they got free samples, they'll send you. So I'm a big fan of Shuby. I've been using Shuby since 2004 in our business, and they're the only ones I've ever went with.
Explain what Shuby is for those that don't.
Shuby does all kinds of their main thing is shoe protection, right? So I call them floor savers. So it's shoe covers you put on your feet. So when you go into a customer's home, you're not dragging in mud or dirt or snow or dog poop or whatever else that may be outside. So biggest thing for me was always shoe protection, but it's so much more than just shoe protection. They all have all kinds of stuff, safety gear, safety equipment, cleaning supplies, stuff like that to keep you and your team doing their job better. That's the bottom line. So check them out. Awesome. You can check out all our other vendor partners on there as well, but it's the newest one. We just finalized this. Everything got through yesterday, so I was really stoked about it. So for sure.
Awesome.
My gal, Tamiko, that's my gal. She's from Georgia. She's been my rep since 2004. She's still there. She's been there forever. She's a great gal. So ask for Tamiko. She'll take care of you.
Well, next week, our theme is productivity. So make sure you tune in next week, and we'll be talking about that overall theme. And we've got to come up with something good for productivity.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right.
Well, you all have a great week, and don't shoot your eye out.
Fragile.
Fragile. Must be